Hey you, hey there, welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if it's your first time here. Today we are reviewing a new drugstore foundation, the L'Oreal Skin Ink 2-in-1 foundation and concealer. This is supposed to be a waterproof formula, sweat-proof, humidity-proof, plus I'm oily, so that's a bonus for you. And lucky for us, it has been so humid out, so humid. This must be probably the most humid summer we've had in New York. It's just been outrageous. So of course, I'm going to conduct a wear test, a verdict at the end. So be sure to watch this video in its entirety. All right, let's hit it. L'Oreal Skin Ink foundation and concealer review, wear test, and verdict for you. All right, so now let's go over all of the details. So this foundation is a drugstore product. Like I said, you can get it anywhere from $15 to $19, depending on the retailer. I think I saw that on Amazon, Walmart, Target, it was somewhere in the $14.99, $15 range. And then on Ulta and other retailers, it was closer to $19.20. So there are 22 shades altogether, a bunch of different undertones. For the most part, I saw some warms, some cools, some neutrals. So we have those covered. But I feel like with 22 shades, you can't really get that much of a variety in undertones. 3 is what it is. Also, this is supposed to be transfer resistant. So I definitely have my little tissue ready for that transfer test. I went ahead and took all of the ingredients into ChatGPT just to make sure that they are all safe for acne-prone skin, because I am acne-prone. I am very oily, so we don't want any comedogenic or red flags, okay? So lucky for us, none of them are comedogenic. Everything is acne safe. And so here we are. All right, let's test out these 2 shades that were sent to me. We've got shade 80, Warm Doré, or Doré actually means golden, so maybe it means that this is a golden undertone. This is quite fair. Don't think this is going to be my shade unless I want to brighten under the eyes. And then the other shade that I have here is shade 125, also Doré, so golden undertone. And this one looks like it's going to work better. So here we are. Here are the undertones. Here is the product. Coincidentally, I'm matching it today. And of course, we're gonna do a little thumbnail face because we need to find out if this is in fact, indeed, waterproof, sweat-proof, and humidity-proof. L'Oreal. Well, let's find out. So I'm thinking shade 80 might probably be my little sister's shade. So I'm definitely going to put this away for her in her little goodie bag, big goodie bag. I always collect all of my products that don't work for me for her. And also we have slightly different preferences for things. So whenever I find something that I know won't work for me, but will definitely work for her very young teenage skin, I always put it aside for her. Don't know about this product yet, so hopefully it'll work out. Anyway, one thing I did want to show you guys is this PR package that I got from L'Oreal. So this is where the foundations were. And this here is a moisturizer. The reason why they included that is because apparently this foundation is so clingy to your skin that you absolutely must apply it to wet, moisturized skin. So that's something different. That's something that I haven't really seen or heard before in foundation instructions or makeup instructions. But I am very oily, so chances are I may not need this step, but I'm gonna do it anyway. If you are a drier skin type, you will probably absolutely need to do this step and you won't be able to skip it. So they did send this Revitalift moisturizer, which I have tried before, and it is rather creamy. I'm not going to apply too much, like I said. And mostly I'm going to concentrate on the perimeter of my face where it's a little bit less oily, though still oily. And then whatever's remaining, I'm just going to kind of pat it into the center of my face. Because like I said, I don't want to be too greasy. That never really worked for me and for my skin type. Applying my moisturizer right before makeup, it just always somehow disrupted the makeup and it didn't make it as long wearing. But this is supposed to be a 48-hour long wearing foundation. And you're supposed to shake it really well before you apply it. And then you're supposed to take your brush and very quickly buff it in. And the reason why they call it skin ink is that it's supposed to be as light as ink, meaning that you don't feel it on the skin, but it is extra potent. They also did include a brush, and this is from BK Beauty. And if you are familiar with this brand, then you know that the founder of this brand is Lisa J, who is a fellow YouTuber, content creator, reviewer, reviewer here on YouTube. And so the fact that her brushes were included in a L'Oreal PR package is really, really awesome. So congrats, Lisa. This is super, super cool. And I am going to use this brush actually because it is very, very nice and dense. Let me go ahead and get started. Shade 125. Warm, doré, golden undertone. Shaking it up real well. You kind of hear that there's a ball in there actually. So that's nice. Kind of sounds like a nail polish. All right, so I'm going to start off with one side of the face at a time. Just going to dot this. And then with Lisa's brush, I am going to quickly buff this in. Okay, do you guys see it? Is it actually on my face? That looks absolutely weightless and totally, totally skin-like. It's not exaggerating my pores. Granted, I did apply very little bit of product, and it is supposed to be a buildable foundation. Also concealer. We're gonna test it out as a concealer as well. But now let me actually build it up. Here where I have a little bit of dark spots. Here where there's just like some discoloration. I will say I do like the giant doe foot applicator. For some reason, it reminds me of Tarte Shape Tape. And it just feels kind of cool and intuitive. I gotta say, that looks really, really, really flawless. Look at this side of the face. Hold on. I'm about to show you this side of the face. I think this shade match is pretty good, though this is probably like my winter shade. I will definitely need a shade that's a bit darker for the summer, just so I can match it to the rest of me, you know? But I feel like with the proper bronzing products, I can definitely make it work. All right, let's move on to the forehead. I do like the fact that this has a nice yellow, but not too saturated of a yellow undertone so that it doesn't look skin-like. This is skin-like. And yeah, I do think you have to move kind of quickly with it because it is quite clingy. So you do need to spread it rather fast. So this is a little bit challenging to do while I'm also giving you a tutorial and walking you through it. If I was just doing this in front of my mirror and not moving my mouth, this would probably be a little bit easier. But you know, gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, forehead looks incredible. I don't think I need any more product. I like the fact that I added a little bit more moisturizer onto my forehead. Move my mirror a little bit slightly to the side so I can see. Let's go ahead and do this side of the face. Just gonna dot and buff it in. So this absolutely does feel tacky at the moment. There is no way that this is transfer proof just yet, but I do have my tissue. Here it is. I'm gonna see if it actually transfers. Let's go ahead and do this side. You guys heard that. There was definitely a sticky sound. There is a little bit of transfer, but honestly not too bad. I feel like this might be the perfect foundation for this humid summer that we're having, especially if you need it to last. And the fact that it's self-setting is kind of nice too, because you don't want to apply too much product in the summertime, right? All right, so I'm adding just a little bit more here. And whatever's remaining on the brush, I'm just gonna kind of go up and gently press into my under eye. Now I'm gonna use it as a concealer. I think I need a pinchy poo more product, like that much. But honestly, not bad. I'm gonna show you a close-up, as I always do. Excuse the mess in the back, but here is this side of the face. I will say this is also quite pore-friendly. Forehead, this side of the face. You can still see my freckles. Definitely didn't apply too much product to my nose, if any at all. I'm inches away from the phone. There's no filters, there's no effects. This is the skin, this is the texture, this is the finish. I'm quite pleased. I definitely am curious. I almost want to fast forward to see how this wears, but before I do, I want to see how it pairs with other products. So I'm going to apply some bronzer. I'm going to get my NATASHA DENONA High Sculpt Liquid Bronzer in shade Toasty. This one has been my favorite one. I tested another shade in a previous video. That was just a little bit too cool for my liking, but this one, shade Toasty, is perfect. I will say though that this bronzer is extremely, 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 extremely pigmented, so you need just the tiniest amount of product. And so I chose it specifically to test with this foundation because I want to see how this very pigmented bronzer will blend out over this super clingy foundation. So I think what you have to do here is use kind of patting motions, not swiping motions, because if you do swipe, there will be a mess for sure. But if you apply just like the tiniest amount of product, and this goes for any liquid bronzer really, or liquid blush, I think the faster you move, the less you apply, the better. All right, so same thing with the forehead, just kind of patting it in. Okay, I see that this part of the face is getting just a little bit blotchy, and that is to be expected. So what I'm gonna do is add a little bit more of this foundation to like, I guess, clean it up a touch. And I think that did it. I think that was a good move, Maryam. All right, I'm just gonna take a quick look to see if this is in fact Still seamless. And I gotta say, it's looking really, really good. So now I'm gonna add some blush. This is NARS Afterglow Liquid Blush in shade Behave. Using this one a lot lately, just like the prettiest shade of dainty pink. And because this is a somewhat dewy blush, I wanna see how the dew will work with this matte. And I think it's working quite fine. Gonna add a little bit on the nose. Very fresh and very clean. Although I don't like the color discrepancy. My head is definitely looking like it's detached from my neck a little bit. So I don't like this border. So shade 125 is probably just a little bit too light for me right now. I will probably pick up shade 140 if I like this. But so far, I really like it. So far, this looks like I wouldn't like it because I have texture, because I'm oily, because foundations don't really last on me, especially when they're clingy. They just make everything look so much worse. But this is the opposite of that. It really does feel quite weightless. It is pretty easy to apply. It seems to be working with other products. Even when you make a mistake, it's really, really easy to fix. So far so good. I really, really can't complain. You don't need to set it. It does feel a little bit tacky to the touch though. But I'm wondering if that's something that will go away with time, or if maybe you can just add, I don't know, say like a really sheer layer powder just to get rid of that stickiness. Sometimes I like to do that. This is the Say translucent powder, slip tint, undetectable baked powder. It has a little bit of a glow, so I think this might pair nice with such a matte finish foundation. Do we want another close-up? What a silly question. Here we are, slightly powdered down with the bronzer, with a little bit of dewy blush. It looks really good. It looks really, really good. And I am almost surprised. I kind of was expecting to hate this foundation because all the claims just make me imagine it to be super heavy feeling on the skin. And the fact that it feels so light and the fact that it looks so clean and easy is kind of baffling me right now. What do you think of my complexion?
I like it.
You like it?
Yeah, I like it.
What about it do you like?
It seems sheer because I know it's giving me good coverage, at least from my perspective.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I like the fact that I can see your freckles, but I also like the fact that I feel like your face is balanced and it feels like there's no tonality difference throughout your face. It looks nice. There's depth, but the depth is coming with the other application techniques you've put on.
Thank you for your input. Appreciate it. The only thing left to do is to conduct that wear test. So that is what I'm going to do before the wear test. As in my previous foundation reviews, I am going to show you what this looks like in daylight, in sunlight, in a cloudy setting, as many settings as I can possibly show you at the gym. And then I will give you my wear test and my verdict. Let's go ahead and cue in that time warping music. All right, guys, happy next day. This is the skin ready for the gym, ready for the wear test. I just applied the L'Oreal Skin Ink foundation and concealer all over, blended it out the same way that I did in the previous part of the video. I did add a little bit of blush, but I skipped the bronzer. This is what it looks like at this point. And next time I see you will be the wear test. Post-gym face, not bad. Guys, I am in my bathroom for no other reason than to take a shower because I almost forgot to do my wear test. And you can see that my face got some water on it, but maybe this is good because now we can pat off the water and I can show you that there is no transfer of the foundation that I am still wearing on my face. You can still see that I'm wearing my lip liner, a little bit of brow gel. So this is the face. I am in the bathroom, excuse the echo, and this is the wear test. So I had a pretty long day. I did a lot. I went to the supermarket, I went to the gym. Today was my full body weight training session. So I was in there for at least 2 hours. I worked out really hard. And one thing I noticed about the Skin Ink foundation is that it did not move. In fact, this is one of those products that I wouldn't recommend for those of you with dry skin. And even those of us with oily skin have to make sure that we moisturize and we hydrate our skin completely thoroughly before applying the product in order for it to work well. Because what I noticed is that it absolutely prevented sweat from coming down my face. I was working out really hard like I normally do, but I was not perspiring on my face. I had some sweat droplets here in my hair, but my face was completely matte, completely dry, and I've never really seen that before with the foundation. So this is definitely a unique product. It absolutely worked for me. My skin looks natural, like I'm not wearing anything. And granted, today's trial was using slightly less product, obviously, because I was going to the gym and I was running errands, but I wanted it to look kind of natural, like my own skin. I forgot what I was saying, kind of forgot my track of thought, but I guess what I was trying to get at is that I noticed that it almost felt like a shrink wrap across my skin surface. Although it does feel very, very weightless, the fact that it prevents sweat from coming through, the fact that it is very much humidity proof is telling. This product is unique, it is different, and for sure it worked for me. That being said, if you are in a drier climate such as Vegas or LA or the Middle East, I don't think this is a product that would work as well there, unless of course you slather on the moisturizer, the SPF, and you apply it onto drenched wet skin. So the fact that even I had to do that with my super oily skin type tells you a lot. Do I like this and will I continue wearing it? Absolutely, especially in a humid tropical or subtropical climate that New York has now become. This is perfect for Miami. This is perfect for Texas, for some of the southern states, for New York, for the humidity, for the summertime. This will definitely stay in my arsenal. I want to get my hands on a couple more shades just so I can really look bronzy and tan. But all in all, this is an incredibly different, unique, surprisingly really good product. I would say this is professional grade type of product that I will absolutely continue reaching for, especially in humidity, especially because I'm an oily skin type. All right, that is enough chatter. This is the wear test, no transfer. Skin is looking quite good. You can shear it out, you can build it up. There you have it, there's your review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank God I remembered the wear test. And on that fine note, I am going to zoom on out and invite you to check out more of my videos. Don't worry, I'm wearing a towel. There's my gym clothes in the corner. Peace out, you guys. I'm out.